It all goes back to hope. Like before Hopeful Hearts, I didn't really believe that like miracles can happen and stuff like that. And when they came, it was a whole changing experience. Like we got better, our lives got better because they improved our orphanage and they improved us, and we got love, and like that makes everybody better. When you have a warm heart, like life gets better overall.
So we're going to come up with 22. So
The blessing bags have arrived.
can I get everybody's attention for a minute? I know we've come a long way out here and people are disappointed that there's just 6 kids. No. The way this works is that there's 108 kids here normally. And we've sent presents for all 108. But these 6 are the ones that nobody came for Christmas. But I want you all to understand that every other child got picked up by an aunt or a grandmother or an extended family or whatever. But these 6, you all and these bags are their Christmas. And it was worth the whole trip all the way from Louisville to hug on these 6 kids.
Hundreds of children in 6 orphanages in Ukraine received an even greater gift this year. Thanks to the Hopeful Hearts Foundation, the orphans, newborns to 18-year-olds, are healthier, happier, and safer. They will never be overlooked by the ministry that began with the ill and neglected children who Louisville residents saw when they adopted from the dark, run-down institutions in Ukraine.
Yeah, I remember the walls are dark and the hallways are dark, and after you grow up, they're gonna send you to a different orphanage, and then after that, they'll just kick you out in the streets.
This year's blessing bag trip included Andrew Best, a young man who knows both sides of this joyous event. Andrew lived in a Ukrainian orphanage served by Hopeful Hearts until he and his sisters were adopted when he was 10.
I was there the first year Hopeful Hearts did their bags, and I remember the boxes being delivered. I remember getting the bag. I think I had a golf club set, like a little plastic golf club set, and I wore the ball out the first day I got it, and we had like a little hallway in our room, and I played there constantly. And after that, like the walls got a little brighter, and our spirits got a little brighter, and everybody was happier, and kids had toys, and I don't know, like life changed. It gives them hope. It tells them there's somebody out there that cares about them, and even though they don't have a family that takes them for holidays, they have somebody across the world that comes to them and delivers a present personally and spends time with them and gives them love, and that can change a kid's like perspective on life.
Like what Angie said, it gives them hope to be like, wow, there's actually people that actually pay attention to me and actually know that I'm here in this world and that love me.
Where would any of us be if we did not have some sort of hope in our life? There was one child this year that still had his picture that he got in his bag from last year, that he valued it that much that he kept it.
Our last stop was an orphanage that we'd never visited before. It was a place called Gala, and they were all mentally disabled. They ranged in age from 6 to maybe 17 or 18. They varied in height, but they were all about the same age mentally. They loved those bags. It was so much fun to hear them laugh, and they would clap their hands, and here were boys, 16, 17, big boys, but maybe 5 or 6 years, 7 years old mentally, and they were all sitting in a circle. They had the Pringles, and they were stuffing their face with potato chips, and they had candy bags and little cars, but the smiles on their face. We all got on the bus and said, that stop was worth the whole trip. If we had just gone to that place, it would have been worth the whole trip.
These orphaned and at-risk children know the love and kindness of families in Kentucky because of the time, travel, and attention of Hopeful Hearts.
We were there Monday through Friday at the VBS. So we really spent a lot of time with these group of children that we work with in VBS.
It was something the children needed. They needed to be told about Jesus and the Bible stories, and this is something they don't normally get. I know 5 days is such a short time to be there, but the reaction of the children, I think they truly liked it.
On this trip with one of the caretakers, because of my background, I was able to make a connection who was an atheist, and at the beginning of the week said he would never, didn't believe in Christ, didn't believe in religion, and by the end of the week he was asking me to pray for his family because we had made that connection.
I came back convinced that it's a good cause, and especially the VBS, because the VBS effort is to try to establish and help with that spiritual development of these children.
It is phenomenal what Hopeful Hearts has done for these children. They eat better, they're clothed, they're happier. I think they have a little more sense of hope. Hopeful Hearts it has a heart. It has a heart for these children, and we are to care for orphans and widows, as Scripture says.
For older children, Hopeful Hearts has also established 4 transitional living homes. Here, orphan teenagers who might otherwise be homeless live in a family setting with house parents. They get an education, they go to church, they have a chance. The directors of Hopeful Hearts work tirelessly to make a lasting difference in the lives of the children they serve.
But we got to thinking that these families, they've been living together, some of them for a couple years now, and there's always new kids coming into the mix. And we know they've come from very difficult childhoods, a lot of bad memories, and we had this idea that wouldn't it be neat if we could create some family memories? So that's how it all kind of came about, and from there we agreed to a camping trip.
The whole weekend was just to step outside of that. They only give us what we need, to just having some pure, unadulterated fun, they laughed, they sang, and they rode the banana, not once, but twice. And when I was there this past week and we were at transition homes, they were still asking me, oh, did you remember when we rode the banana, we got to ride it? And they were still talking about it at Christmas, to ride that banana. That was good.
Children all over the globe are safe and warm tonight because of the generosity of people like you. Hopeful Hearts now partners with ministries in 6 countries. Hopeful Hearts does not try to reinvent the wheel in these faraway countries. They find, research, and meet in person the people already there, the people who have a proven record of doing what really makes a difference. Ministries that partner with Hopeful Hearts know what is needed.
I've known John Matthew for 20 years and have known of his ministry, and I knew that he was looking for additional support, and it gave us an opportunity to have a presence with a lot of young ladies that are certainly deserving.
In 2013, you, the Hopeful Hearts donors, were here in India, giving a new dress to the girls of Bethany. Hopeful Hearts donors were here to see the 6-cow dairy operation and the biogas facility that Hopeful Hearts funded.
The most visible part of it was the biogas plant, which you can see is helping them sustain their facility without having a lot of costs for wood and so forth, and they're so proud of it. And he had his little man taking the manure from the cows and dumping it into the biogas facility.
In 2013, in India, you made it possible to experience moments of true joy, time spent with the least of these in need.
I think you have to realize the plight of children in India. There's such poverty, and there are very few opportunities for young people to even survive when so many are dying from malnutrition and simple illnesses that could be avoided. This children's home provides personal care for each child. They have good nutrition. They are able to go to the doctor if they're sick. They all attend school. They have loving caregivers, and they hear twice a day how much Jesus loves them. So that's quite a combination for little Hindu girls that have never heard anything about our religion. What he has put together is working.
India can be changed. You know, just because some little girl got an opportunity to go to an orphanage, this home, at the age of 3, 4, 5, come out at 16, 17, fully equipped to be a solid citizen and for Jesus Christ.
It's working. It's working in Sri Lanka for these children within the loving care of Footprints Ministries for Boys and Girls. These are children rescued from the slums of Colombo by Rohini.
We are so glad to have Hopeful Hearts team here working with us. And as you can see, they are packing bags full of good stuff. And these are for children in a very marginalized village, many miles away from Colombo. It's a little town beyond Putlam. And it's a community, it's a village where the women have many children and the husbands are either on drugs or not working. So the women are suffering a great deal. They don't have proper jobs. Some of the women are daily laborers. They work in the salt mines, and the children, most of the children don't go to school. And the women are illiterate, and we have a literacy center there. And at the literacy center, we teach the women to read and write.
Hopeful Hearts helps to provide food for these children. They are on a very limited budget. They don't have money that is coming in on a regular basis. So most of the time they pray for everything that they get. The only sure thing that they get is the money that they get from Hopeful Hearts.
We go to Bible studies with them. They have prayer times while we're there. We play with the kids. It's not, we don't paint and scrub and, necessarily do that, but it's more of a relationship of an encouragement trip for them. It's the ladies that run Footprints, their board of directors. I think that kind of resonated with us when we first went because they were just like us. They were a group of people who saw a need and felt like that they had to do something about it. None of those people are paid, but Rohini and that whole board that we visit with, they take nothing out of it. In fact, it costs them money to be a part of it. And it's a very humbling experience for us, and I feel like it's an honor for us to be allowed to work with them.
And I cannot tell you what a difference Hopeful Hearts is making here in this country. The children that we met yesterday, the young boys, they're such wonderful young children, and they have been so changed by their lives at living there at the home. You can see that God's had a place in their hearts, and they're such wonderful men, and they're going to just grow up to be awesome.
In the coming year, Hopeful Hearts is committed to partnering with a ministry in Haiti. The need is great in Haiti, but the pathways to making a true difference are often tangled and complex. Hopeful Hearts is there on the ground, assessing the greatest needs and how your generosity will be put to the very best use.
Haiti is a dark country that just needs people to care about Haiti and needs people to help them. At El Zion, we have agreed to pay for 1 week a month the food budget that they have, and they told us that was $225 for the week to feed all of those kids. At that time, there was 35 kids. Now, they're not eating steak and potatoes. It's a rice and beans. It's a very cautious budget, but they are being fed, and the kids looked well fed.
Hopeful Hearts is at work in Myanmar. In this Far East Asian nation, Samuel Thang runs an independent Christian ministry. Currently, Hopeful Hearts provides funds to operate a small village store that helps support the orphans. Samuel's ministry is expanding to care for more children while sending older children out into the world. In 2013, great strides were taken to provide the older orphans with skills that will keep them safe and self-sufficient after they leave Samuel's care. Hopeful Hearts is helping Samuel through its alliance with Teach to Transform.
So they needed medical care as a priority for the orphans. They also needed a skill set for the older orphans because they were vulnerable to prostitution and drugs. So Our organization comes back once we find the needs. We find mechanics, we find veterinarians have gone with us to Myanmar for agricultural training, we find medical healthcare providers. So we create the team based on their needs. So when we went in, for example, one of the needs were there was a high infant mortality as well as mothers who were delivering and getting into problems with death. One of the pastors shared a story that his dear friend was pregnant. She started bleeding during her pregnancy, and after a period of hours of taking her from clinic to clinic, she eventually died. So we went in and taught obstetrics. We taught injections so that they could prevent bleeding in mothers who were bleeding after their deliveries, and we also taught newborn care. And with this program called Helping Babies Breathe, we can drop infant mortality by 40%, and it's been shown all over the world to do that. There's about 5 things that they're, of the vital signs that they are able to evaluate people. By the end of the week, they can tell you who needs to go for a higher level of care based on a pneumonia. They can recognize infectious disease. Dental Empower also partnered on this trip with us, and they've got a dental ministry where they train pastors how to do dental. So we're trying to lift up and empower communities, and to see these children who have, I always tell them at the beginning of the week, when they walked in the room, they had no idea what a vital sign was, no idea how to use these instruments, and by the 5th day of our training, where I give them a test and check their abilities to use these instruments, the smile that comes across their face when they're given their certificate is priceless.
Hopeful Hearts came to us and said, how can we teach these children? What can we do? And Samuel said there's a huge need for the boys. We need people that know how to do motorcycle repair and do agriculture and that can teach them how to farm. One lady was a hairdresser, and she says, what can I do? I'm 62 years old and I was a hairdresser all my life. Oh my goodness, we can use you in Myanmar to teach the young girls. And that's what she did. We had 3 seamstress camps. What can we do? We just know how to sew. I do needlepoint and I do quilting. So now these 12 girls can go out. They now know how to make uniforms for the public school system. They have an income. They can also make uniforms for the orphanages, so now they can go to school, because sometimes you can't go to schools just because you don't have a uniform.
I'm a father of 3, he's a father of 52 and growing, so you just can't imagine what that would be like to do that kind of thing every day. But he does it, and he does it well with such grace, and the impact that he has on all of these children is immediately obvious when you visit.
The children are happy, they're eager to learn, they're very respectful, and to me that is a great combination of success in life. And I really believe that these kids will make it in life.